we have started the class. Let me know once if you can hear me properly, if the video is clear, and then we are ready to begin with our session. Okay, I'll just go ahead and adjust the screen for you. I think this is good. This one I'll set it here on the side. All right, the question is now visible. Okay, I'll check your comments on the comment box. Let me know if everything is okay, and we will start this mock test. All right, let me check once. This is the class. All right, so I am visible, I am audible. Okay, in the chat box, just mention it once. The screen is not visible. All right, let me correct this quickly. Okay, just give me a second. And the window capture, I have to go to... Is this visible now? All right, perfect. Now the screen is visible. Yes. Now the screen is visible to you. Can you see the question? I'll zoom the screen if not. All right. Okay, so let us begin. Yes, thank you, Tanu, for confirming. So the first question here is the common name of, I will read along as well, all right? You'll not face any difficulty. I'll read along as well. So as you can see here, the first question is the common name of C3. The size of this marker has increased. Okay, it is CH3, CH2, CH2OH. So that means how will you find out the common name? So there are two things that we have to know. One is the IUPAC name and another is the common name. All right. I will keep on looking at your comments as well. You can give the answers there as well. Little bit, the camera should be like this. Okay. So now see, I told you methane, ethane, propane, butane, right? First thing is to know that. So 1, 2, 3. There are 3 carbons. So it will fall in which one? It will be propane, but wait for it. It is not propane because what we have here is OH. What does that mean? The hydroxyl is the OH. That means it will be from the alcohol end. So here, how many are there? Only 1 from the alcohol group. So 1 OL. Can I write it as propane 1 OL? So if I will write this as propane 1 OL, in this case, this will be the IUPAC name. They are asking you the common name, right? Also, this is not given in your options as well. So that is also fine. You can also call this 1-propanol. So it can also be called as 1-propanol. That is also the IUPAC name. So if there is 1-propanol, the common name will be, what will be the common name? Give the correct answer in the chat box and we will move to the next question. It is your N-propyl alcohol or N-propanol. Also we can call it as 1-propanol, or we can call it as propyl alcohol, or we can call it as N-propyl alcohol. All these are same thing. And here what is the functional group? OH is the functional group. This question is clear. We will move to the next one. All right. Little bit I have to zoom in. so that I can go to the next question. Okay. Now look at the next question. Where is the one-click eraser? Just before some time, I'm using this one now. Okay, this is the one-click eraser. All right, great. Okay. Now look at the next question. Which of the following statements about PM Juga? What is the full form of PM Juga? Pradhan Mantri Janjatiya Unnat Gram Abhiyan. So when it is mentioned Janjatiya Unnat of the village, that means what does it mean? It will focus on which sectors? Let us see that. PM Juga was launched on 2nd October 2024 from Hazaribagh, Jharkhand to promote comprehensive socio-economic development of the tribal communities across India with special focus on the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, that is the PVTGs. Particularly vulnerable tribal groups, there are some further say detailings of what are the points to be taken care of in that case, right? So that is also there. Now what will be the correct answer here? First one statement is correct. The scheme is exclusively limited to development of particularly vulnerable tribal groups. No, special focus will be on the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, but it is otherwise for others as well. So it is not limited to say the PVTGs. So this statement won't be correct. And does not include other scheduled tribe populations. So this statement is definitely not correct. Does not include other scheduled tribe populations. This we will eliminate. The PM Juga is implemented through 17 line ministries and support flagship programs to improve infrastructure. Did it focus on infrastructure? Yes, the main focus was on infrastructure, education, healthcare, livelihood, connectivity in tribal majority villages and aspirational districts. Now the villages, somewhere around 5 crore is to be spent over a period of 5 years, and somewhere around 63,000 villages have been identified. So only the connectivity in the tribal majority villages, even if you normally look into that option, what will happen to the others? Like how can you put the connectivity only in that particular network and not the other networks? So like that you can guess what will be the answer. Can you tell me the correct answer here? Do we have another option? Okay, just come to the cursor. Do we have another option as well? Option number 4. Okay, so the options here are statement 1 is definitely correct. So we will tick on statement 1. Then statement 2, we have seen, is it only 2 is not correct. And about 3, you have to decide whether it is correct or not. Connectivity in tribal majority villages, yes, but it will pass through others also. Except the doubt in this particular region, only in tribal majority, the rest is good. But only 1 is not there, and 2 we will not just eliminate because of this. Because connectivity, they mean to say here is, though the tribal majority villages will be focused on like connectivity, it does not mean it will not go through other places. It might go through other places as well, but mainly it will focus on that particular region. So if we have to eliminate 2, then we will be left out with 1 and 3. Let's see if 1 and 3 is the correct answer to this question. So yes, 1 and 3 is the correct answer to this question. All right, let us look into the next question. In the expenditure method of GDP, which of the following is excluded? Okay, which of the following is excluded in the expenditure method? For that, we have to know what is the expenditure method to calculate the GDP. So for calculating the expenditure method, we have to first know that, okay, these are the household is doing this much expenditures. Okay. Then the business, what does the business does? Business will do investment. Business is doing this much of investment. What does the government does? Government will do some kind of imports and some kind of export. They will spend on the public sector. They will spend on the healthcare sector, then services, then salaries. All these will be the government spendings. Okay. So all these we have to calculate. How do we calculate this? For this, we will have a simple formula, that is we will first say the household consumption, whatever the household is doing the consumption, that household consumption. Then what else we have here is what the business is doing. The businesses are doing the investment. So the business investment. We are writing actually on this screen itself, no? That's why we are facing little bit of, since I'm writing on this screen today. Otherwise, we are using the normal PPTs. So please bear with me only for the first session, okay? So the business investment, it is there. I'll find out a better way to write on the screen by the next class. That is there. And what the government is doing, the government is also making its own expenditures, okay? And overall, what we are doing some exports and we are doing some imports, right? So we imports, that means we are spending the money outside and bringing something from outside. So that is our spending, right? So let us put some terms for this. For example, for GDP, for household consumption, we denote it as C. For business investment, we denote it as I. Okay. For the government, say whatever expenditures they are doing on welfare, building, infrastructure, services, goods and services, and then salaries, all these let us put in here. And then what else we have here is your the exports that we are making and the imports that we are making. Now let us look at the option. In the expenditure method of GDP, which of the following is excluded? Government expenditure, it's not excluded, it is there. Export expenditure, it is not included, it is there. Expenditure on immediate goods, do you see anything expenditure of immediate goods here? Investment expenditure for the business, yes, investment expenditure, it is there. So C is not there. So which will be the correct answer? C will be the correct answer, okay? I'll not change to marker. You can check that if you have given the test. All right. Let us go to the, oh, I have to change. See, I don't have any option. I have to change. So if I am changing to arrow anyhow, let us view the solution as well. It is your expenditure on immediate goods. All right. Coming to the next question. Okay. Look at the next question. Consider the following statements about the round table conferences. So we study the round table conferences when we study history, and there were 3 round table conferences. And then there are the standard questions for round table conferences. All right, here they're asking you that which is incorrect statement. These conferences recognize the right of Indians to consult in manners of framing of the constitution. Was it done? Did they recognize the right of the Indians? See, the entire thing was happening in from 32 32s, 1932 32s. Yeah. And then if you will see that the Government of India Act came up in 1935. Okay. And the 70% of the constitution is from here, right? Okay. So we will not take one for that. All roundtable conferences were boycotted by the Congress. Were all roundtable conferences boycotted by the Congress? In the first roundtable conference, remember, everybody will go, in the INC will go. In the second roundtable conference, again there will be problems. You remember, Mahatma Gandhi goes on behalf of the Congress. Before that, there was the Gandhi-Irwin Pact. Gandhi-Irwin Pact. There was the negotiations. Okay, you want us to come and discuss, you take up the salt tax. They will say, okay, we will take out the salt tax, we will remove that, but then again terms and conditions apply. Only in the coastal regions you will be able to make the salt, and that too only for household consumptions. All these were there, right? So roundtable conferences, where all the 3 roundtable conferences were boycotted by the Congress, this statement is definitely wrong. So 2 is definitely wrong. And what about 1? Will you select 1? These conferences recognize the right of Indians to be consulted at least in matters of framing of the constitution. First, they, and third, they were not invited. Second, Mahatma Gandhi attended on behalf of the INC, right? Remember? So here we will go for B only as the answer, that this is incorrect because they're at least in the consultation phase. All right, so let us view the solution here. And the solution here is B only. Let us go to the next question. Which of the following correctly describes the chemical components of a DNA molecule? So what does a DNA molecule consist of? When we are saying DNA, that means it will consist of deoxyribose nucleic acid. Yes, if you would have said RNA, it will be ribose nucleic acid. Now, what else does it have? It is nothing but sugar, right? It is nothing but sugar. So first, the ribose nucleic sugar. Okay, now it is fine. So let me just write down sugar for that. Then there will be the phosphate base. And then there will be whatever nitrogenous base. It can be adenine, guanine, cytosine, or thymine. That will be here, okay? Because it is DNA, so it will be adenine, guanine, cytosine, and thymine. That is ATGC. ATGC will be here. You tell me in the comment box of this video that if it would have been an RNA, then the nitrogenous base will be something else. Which one will substitute what? That you tell me. Already that is also a very common question. Now let us look into the option. Correctly describes the chemical components of a DNA nucleotide. A nitrogenous base. Yes, this is the nitrogenous base, right? A ribose sugar. Is there a ribose sugar? Is it correct? Or is it a deoxyribose sugar? Is it ribose sugar, RNA, or deoxyribose sugar? Then a phosphate group. That phosphate group is also there, okay? But it is not a ribose sugar. A nitrogenous base, a deoxyribose sugar, because it is DNA. So this is correct here, and a phosphate group. So this is also correct. Phosphate group is also there. All these three are settled. And it is a protein molecule pentose. So rest of the options are not making sense at all. So no need to even go to that, right? That can be directly eliminated. So let us view the answer. B is the correct answer to this question, right? B is the correct answer. If it would have been, say, ribose sugar, then it would have been an RNA and not a DNA, right? Let us look into the next question. The main objective of NAKSHA program is to, what is the main objective of the NAKSHA program? So what is that? It is the National Geospatial knowledge based land survey of which region? Of the urban region. Okay. Naksha means, in Hindi we say that the naksha of this particular land has to be passed to make a house in that particular land, right? If it is a myadi land, or if it is the permanent holding land, right? So what is that? Is it to promote rural tourism and heritage site? No. Then monitor air pollution levels in cities? No. So even if you know that naksha is related to land mapping, right? The word is used very commonly. And modernize urban land survey process and maintain accurate land records. They're using the GIS technology here. And probably there will be a time where using the Google Maps, you'll be able to zoom out. Okay, this land belongs to this person, like that probably we can do. Encourage private real estate development does not make sense, right? So the correct answer here is option number C. All right. Now let us first view the solution, and then we will go to the next question. All right. Next question. Read the question. Which of the following crops are cultivated in plantation agriculture? All right. See, in normal agriculture or in subsistence agriculture, what a person does is they will only grow how much is required for their household to eat, right? In commercial farming, they will grow more. They will say sell those, and they will earn the profit. That is your profit making. In many developed countries, you will see videos of helicopters and aircrafts being used as spraying machines for their farms. They're spraying the fertilizer with an aircraft. They're spraying the, say, whatever else is required with an aircraft. Everything is being done by the machines, right? So that is a commercial level of agriculture. And there also, the cash crops, if they are involved, cash crops, okay, you don't use them for your normal household purpose. You can use them, no problem, but mainly they will give you the direct flow of the cash. And if plantation agriculture is taking place, then what are being used here is, can palm oil, what is the main purpose? Is it like wheat and rice that you are growing for subsidiary agriculture, you want to consume for your household, right? That is not there. So this one will give you the palm oil, and countries like Malaysia was importing in so much quantity. You may remember there was a time when in the TV ads to common talks, people used to say that refined oil is good, which had so much mixture of palm oil. The namkeens and the snacks these days, they are mentioning whether they have palm oil or they do not have palm oil. Then black pepper, this will also be directly with respect to cash crops. They will also be sold and earn, the money will be there. So that is being done. And with rubber also, what will happen? The rubber will be manufactured and rubber will be earned, right? So that is there. What else are cash crops? Say tea, coffee. These are also cash crops. And here these are, plantation is done for them. And what is the end purpose of this? The end purpose is to get the cash and to get the money. Is this understood? So what will be the answer? Tell me why you guys are not answering in the comment box. Answer something. So all these three are there, no? These are also there. All these are given in which option? These are given in all of the above, right? So let us view the solution. All of the above is the correct answer. Let us go to the next question. See, meanwhile, I am selecting the pen. You can read the question, okay? So read the question here. Which among the following is not a local name of shifting cultivation? Now, this is such a good question because normally when we say shifting cultivation, we remember Meghalaya. Meghalaya, shifting cultivation, which is also known as slash and burn. Slash and burn, okay? Where they will just slash the available vegetation or the forest, they will burn it and they'll give some rest and vegetation will be started. And after, say, 2-3 seasons, they'll abandon that land and they will move to a new land. However, it is practiced on the ground level. Like say this year they have cultivated a say area of land. They will move to another patch, but after some time they may again come back to the previous one and again do the slash and burn agriculture like that. Though it was not traditionally, they used to keep on shifting, but now this also happens. So which is not? See, jhum cultivation is the name which is used in Shillong, okay? Kumari, now I was surprised to know with the help of this test series that in Kerala and Karnataka and in this Western Ghats, it is called as Kumari. Because of this test series, I came to know that. I did not know this before. I knew about Bewar, Madhya Pradesh, then jhum cultivation is done in MP as well because there is the highest tribal population of India, but I did not know about Kumari. See? So please do this test nicely and also consider all the options and study. It will broaden up your knowledge definitely. So Kumari is done in the regions of Kerala, Karnataka, and where, in which region? In the Western Ghats region basically. This will be cultivated. All right. Neeravi, neer means water. Okay. And Niravi is the word which is used for irrigation in Kannada. So even if you don't know about, say, Jhum, you will definitely know. Bewar, you will definitely know. Even if you don't know about Kumari, in that case, what you can do is you can eliminate. See, Neer is not related to land shifting cultivation, right? Neer has to do something with water. So you can say, okay, this is the correct answer because this is not the local name of any kind of shifting cultivation. Then also you can give the correct answer D is the correct answer. Yes or no? So that sense you can apply when you come to 50-50 in case of your actual examination, that you can do. Is it? Why you did not inform me since so long? I am writing these things since the beginning and it is visible on my screen, but it is not visible on your screen, the pen marks. This is all right. Let me check one more thing. Selected the wrong slide. Now it is visible. See? Now let me check once on the screen. Is it visible now? I'm feeling so heartbroken at this moment. Is it visible now? Or is it still visible for me only? All right. Okay, so for some reason, I think I'll not write going ahead because it is not being visible, right? So we'll just continue with the discussion then. Okay. I'll just clear from my screen all the writings. Just zoom this out. Okay. So I'll just continue with the screen then. Okay. So the next question is, consider the following statements. Percentage of population residing in medium-sized village, that is population below between 2000 to 5000, has steadily increased. Let me remove this from here. Steadily increased over last 5 decades in India. Percentage of population residing in rural areas has steadily decreased over the last 5 decades in India. So, in case of the urban population, what we know is percentage of residing in rural areas has steadily decreased. The option number 1 is with respect to the village population, right? And option number 2 is respect to the rural population. Now, in the same thing, rural village population, we know that people at present times are migrating from rural region to urban region. Yes or no? Okay, no problem. People are moving from the rural region to the urban region. So percentage of option number 2 here, percentage of population residing in rural areas has steadily decreased over the last 5 years. Is it correct? Has the people decreased in the rural region in the last 5 years? It is not correct. Percentage of population residing in medium-sized villages has steadily increased over last 5 decades. If we consider the medium-sized villages where the population is anyhow low, that means some kind of problems probably are there already. That's why the population is low, that is between 2000 to 5000. Why that is happening? That is happening, and people are migrating to the cities or to towns from the medium-sized villages. That's why they are medium-sized villages. So if we apply this concept, in that case, 1 is okay and 2 is not, 2 only. So we will select for B as the correct answer. Let us see. So they have selected neither 1 nor 2 in this case. Neither 1 nor 2. So both the statements are wrong. This is the correct answer. That means the percentage of population residing in rural areas has steadily increased over the last 5 decades in India. So D is the correct answer. All right. So please note that. Coming to the next question, under the PM SVANidhi scheme launched on 1st June 2020, what is the initial working capital that is received as a loan which is offered? And it is a collateral free loan, that is you do not have to keep anything as collateral with the bank, right? So initially an amount of 10,000 rupees will be given. If everything goes well in this 10,000 rupees, if everything is fine, people are doing the SVANidhi activity with this money, then the government will go ahead and give a 20,000 amount for this. And if everything goes on good in that particular case as well, then finally up to 50,000 rupees, the whoever is applied for this will get the amount. All right. So for the first installment, how much will be given? 10,000. Or for the first amount, just to check, the 10,000 rupees will be given. Coming to the next question. Consider the following statements about Pitt's India Act of 1784. Okay. Commercial and political activities of East India Company in India were separated. So commercial and political activities were separated by the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Next one is principle of indirect elections were introduced for the first time. It was introduced for the first time by the Indian Councils Act of 92. So it was not, Pitt's India was only the first one. No, so first we have the Regulating Act of 1773. Then we have the Pitt's India Act of 1784. Then we have the Councils Act. So this Pitt's India Act is just the beginning stage act, just after the Regulating Act. So here, can you imagine about the indirect elections happening for the first time? No, that was in your 1892s, the India Council Act. So here 2 is incorrect. So B only will be the correct answer. B only. Okay, only 2. Now look at the next principle. Gauss's competitive exclusion principle states that this is actually universal, though it is applied in case of biology only in here. Gauss's competitive exclusion principle, this is a universal principle. See, in a household also, if there is one husband and a wife, then both of them will stay happily, say for 1 year or 2 years. But see, for a long period of time, there has to be distinct role for 2 different species, or one species will eventually claim a dominative role, right? That will happen. That is the Gauss's law, that 2 species over a long period of time cannot share the exact same habitation, because one species will definitely dominate the another species, and that is the rule of nature. They cannot share the exact same niche. It is not possible. Look at the options now. Gauss's competitive exclusion principle states that 2 species can always coexist. Okay, 2 species can coexist, no problem. See, husband and wife coexist, no? Can coexist. Closely related species compete only when resources are abundant. Who competes if resources are abundant? Nobody will compete. Universal law, everybody wants to go from high pressure to low pressure. Competition is there only when the resources are limited. If there are abundant resources, no competition. One species eliminates the other when competing for same resources. When competing for the same resources, one species will eliminate the other eventually in a long period of time. On the same niche, they cannot coexist. So C is the answer here. Competition occurs only among animals. It occurs among plants as well. There are parasites. There are orchids who act as parasites, right? So C is the correct answer here. Next question, consider the following. Rajya Sabha cannot discuss the provisions of bill that is decided by speaker as money bill. Yes. What happens in case of money bill? Money bill will originate only from the lower house, that is only from the Lok Sabha. It will not originate from the Rajya Sabha. That is the exception. Otherwise, normal bills can originate from either house of the parliament. Now, Lok Sabha cannot vote on expenditure that are charged from the consolidated fund of India. Lok Sabha cannot vote, which is correct. So which is correct here? That Lok Sabha cannot vote on expenditure that are charged from the consolidated fund of India. So, okay. Let us come to the next question. Government schools cannot promote any one religion. True or false? True. Government schools cannot promote any one religion. If a government school is celebrating Diwali, they has to celebrate Christmas also, like that they do. But nowadays there are, say, trust-based schools. And if a trustee is managing it, then in that case, only one religion is being promoted. But in case of government schools, they cannot promote it. I remember when I was in 11th and 12th, I shifted and there are schools who do not celebrate Saraswati Puja as well. Okay. From class 6 to class 12, the school I was in, from class 6 to 10th, they were celebrating. Suddenly in 11th, they said ki no more celebration. The government spaces like law courts, police stations, offices are not supposed to display or promote any one religion. True or false? Yes. Intervention in the religion-based personal laws of communities. Intervention in the religious personal laws of communities. So, in the personal laws, if any interference will be there, that is okay. Which of the above X comes under the idea of secularism in the Indian Constitution? All this comes under the idea of secularism, right? So D, that is 1, 2, 3, all are correct here. All of these comes under the idea of secularism. Next question, consider the following statements on density and growth as per Census 2021. Among measured states, Bihar has the highest population density in 2021, exceeding 1,000 person per square kilometer. Nagaland was the only state to record a negative decadal population growth rate during 21. Yes. So which of the following statements are true? In this case, we see that both 1 and 2 are true. Nagaland has got the negative decadal population, right? And Bihar has got the highest population density. Consider the following statements regarding economic reforms in India. The economic reforms introduced in 1991, that is the LPG reforms, the liberalization, privatization, globalization, that is the LPG reforms. Included both stabilization measures and structural reform measures. Stabilization methods are short-term methods. If there are any kind of, say, inflation happening, if there is wheat shortage, suddenly we will have to import wheat from other countries. These are the stabilization methods. What are the structural methods? If they have the 5-year plan, 5-year plan, 5-year plan, like that. So these is a long-term structural plans. So these are the structural reforms which are for long-term reforms. So both of them were there, right? Yes or no? Both were there. So 1 is correct. Let us look at 2. Stabilization measures were long-term policies. No, I told you stabilization means short-term. If you have to combat inflation immediately, that is a short term. That is stabilization method. To say fight against some kind of problem, that is stabilization method. They are not long term. Structural reforms are long term, aimed at improving efficiency. So 2 is wrong and 1 only is the correct answer. 1 only. See, 1 only is the correct answer. Consider the following statements. Cnidarians such as Hydra are diploblastic and typically show radial symmetry in adults. We have discussed about the 3 germ layers in our biology class, and in that case we know that Hydra is diploblastic and they have the radial symmetry. So there can be the, if you will just have right side and left side similar, that is the bilateral symmetry like in human being. If you look at the starfish, they have the radial symmetry. Flatworms, Platyhelminthes, are triploblastic acoelomates. We have discussed that some can be the coelomates or some can be the acoelomates. All this we have studied. With early civilization and major complex tissues. So in case of flatworms, by flat only the name comes as Platyhelminthes, right? Platyhelminthes, like that you can remember. So all these tricks also I have discussed in the class. You can refer to that. So both 1 and 2 are correct here. So C is the correct answer. Oh, we did not view the solution, no? C is the correct answer. Okay. See, just in case of humans also, we have 1 layer, then 2 layer, then 3 layer. Okay. So imagine, I'll quickly explain this to you. In case of humans, we have a mouth, we eat the food, there is a complete alimentary canals. So some animals, they will majority of the multicellular and say higher grade animals for that matter, they have the 2 openings and there is 1 alimentary canal which is say the food pipe and the say esophagus in case of human beings. However, if you consider an amoeba, there is only pseudo fingers. Okay, they will engulf the food, they will take the food in and then they will digest and they will throw it out, right? They does everything like that only. How this formation happens? If you go into the structural level, this formation happens in terms of the germ layers. You can imagine it as the outermost layer is 1 layer. Then if you say the mesoderm, then there we have this, say those animals who have the 2 openings. Okay, in case of human being, we have the entire digestive system. So that 1 colon structure is there, 1 tube is there for the body, right? So based on that structure, we can study the 3 germ layers. Okay, so whether there will be 1, 2, or if there will be a mesoderm and the epiderm is already there. So outermost and the middle layer and the third layer, the 3 layers can be there. Next question. Consider the following statements regarding electromagnetic waves or the EM waves. Okay. In an electromagnetic wave, the electric field and magnetic field are perpendicular to each other and the direction of propagation. Okay. And second one is electromagnetic waves requires a material medium for their propagation. No, EM wave means light waves. They can travel in vacuum. So light waves, microwaves, then X-ray, all these which are in this electromagnetic radiation of the range of the light waves, they can travel in vacuum. Okay. So statement number 2 is definitely wrong. Why? Because it can travel in vacuum. It does not require a medium. Sound, however, sound cannot travel in vacuum. Sound will require a medium. In an electromagnetic wave, so 1 here is correct, but 2 here is not correct. Right. So the answer here will be option number A, that is only 1. Yes, so only 1 is correct here. Next question. Arrange the following ports from east to west. Okay. All right. So where is Paradip port? It is in Odisha. Okay. Maramagoa is in Goa and completely another side. So do we have any option with Ennore is in Chennai and Deen Dayal was previously known as, what was it? Previously known as what port? It is in Gujarat. Kandla port, previously known as the Kandla port. It is in Gujarat. Okay. So if you arrange them, 1 will come first, 4 will come last. But you have 2 options like this. 3 will come first, Ennore, Chennai, and then Gujarat, right? So you have Paradip port, then you have the Marmagoa port. Then you have the Ennore port. Then you have the Marmagoa port, and then so B is the correct sequence. Okay, and let us view the solution. B is the correct answer. Consider the following regarding Panchayati Raj institutions. Reservation of seats for SCs and ST OBC in all three level of Panchayat. Is this correct or not? For OBC, it is not, say, for the chairperson post and for the OBC post. For the OBC reservations, for the block level, gram level, and like that. So it will not be there. One is not correct. Direct elections to the post of chairperson at all three levels. No, direct elections will again depend. Direct elections for chairperson will again depend, and that is also not there. What is for sure is for scheduled caste, scheduled tribe, and the 1/3 reservation, which is for women. These three things are there in the 73rd and in the part 9. So based on that, one we will not go ahead with because they have mentioned OBC also. OBC and chairperson, that will depend. So 1 and 2 we cannot take. Constitution of State Finance Commission after every 5 years. Yes, this is correct. Reservation of 1/3 seat for women, I told you, that is there. So 3 and 4th is the correct answer here. All right, 3 and 4th is the correct answer. Next question, consider the, no, OBC can also be there. It's not that it is not. It will depend, okay, on what is the population and what is the region that is there. It is not like compulsory in the gram level, block level, district level. That compulsion is not there. Consider the following statements about dual government system in Bengal. It was a consequence of Battle of Buxar. So was dual government of Battle of Buxar? Yes, Battle of Buxar was there, and after that the that is, so 1 is correct. It led to administrative breakdown in the Bengal. It led to administrative breakdown. It led to Bengal famines of the 1770s. That is the reason why in the Bengal region potato is added in the biryani, but in Hyderabad potato is not added in the biryani. Yeah. Lord Cornwallis, no. Warren Hastings, abolished by Wellesley? No, it was abolished by the first Governor General of Bengal. No, Warren Hastings. Hastings came with a stick hesitatingly. So anyways, 3 is not correct because Hastings in 1772, he abolished the system, not Wellesley. Okay. So 3 we have to remove and 1 and 2 we have to keep. So D is the correct answer. Okay. D is the correct answer. Next question. Consider the following with reference to demand of money in an economy. All right. Demand of money in an economy. So there is the formula for this again. The transaction demand of money is greater than total value of transaction in the economy. Transaction demand of money, that is your M. Then in small we write small d and small t. Transaction demand for money is equal to the fraction which is being used into the total value of the transaction. That means, see, whatever is the transaction demand, it can never be greater than the total volume of transactions. I cannot write the formula right here, but it cannot be greater than the total volume of the transactions. So 1 is not correct here. Let us look at 2. An increase in nominal GDP implies a decrease in the transaction demand for money in an economy. Increase in GDP means more transactions are happening, more transaction demand is there. So increase in GDP means there is an increase in the transaction demand for money in an economy, right? So 2 is also wrong and 1 is also wrong. Neither 1 nor 2. View solution, neither 1 nor 2 is correct. Next question. Concept of demand of money. Okay, see, there is a simple formula, that is M equals to KT, where T is the transactional value which is required. Okay, and this transactional value, whatever is the transactional value into the fraction, is equal to the transactional demand, or you can say the transactional demand M is equal to fraction into the total transactional value, or the transactional value. Okay, fraction into the transactional value is equal to the total transactional demand. So it's simple little formula, just like for GDP we had all the consumptions of the household plus of the investment of the business, then the government say spendings or expenditures, then export minus import. So like that, here also that formula is there. Okay, whatever fraction of it that you are using, that is K, small k, we denote it by small k and then capital T. M equals to small k, capital T. Okay, so K, small k stands for the fractional value. Next question is, Clear Light of Day, which was shortlisted for the Men Booker Prize 1980, is a novel written by which among the following? Who wrote this particular book, Clear Light of Day? So Clear Light of Day was written by Anita Desai. The name was there in the Booker Prize, and there are other books also which were there in the nomination category. So that was there. It was a nomination category. So the correct answer here is Anita Desai. Next question, Pankaj Mishra's book. This is a very important question. It will definitely come in some exam or the other. Pankaj Mishra's book published in early 2025, which address conflict of West role in it, is titled, what is the name? The World After Gaza. The World After Gaza. This question will show up in some exam or the other. So the correct answer here is The World After Gaza. Next question, which of the following is not true about the Fiscal Health Index FHI initiative? The Fiscal Health Index initiative by Niti Aayog, yes, correct, aims to evaluate and understanding the fiscal health of states in India. Yes, it is for the understanding of the fiscal health, right? But let us look into the other options as well. Next option, the FHI analyze cover 18 major states. No. Analysis considers contribution of states to India's. No. Index is based on a comprehensive set of indicators that are grouped into 7 broad categories. So, is it grouped into 7 broad categories? Yes, it is into 7 broad categories. Initiative by Niti Aayog aimed to evolve and understand the fiscal health of the states in India. Yes. And Odisha is number 1, correct? Because what they do is the management of the debt is very good for Odisha. So they are in the topmost state because the debt management is good. And surprisingly, in struggling states with the debt management, Kerala is also there in the bottom lists, in the top 3. That is surprisingly, it is there. So which is not true about the so 1 is true, then they have considered in this case the 18 major states and the fiscal contribution of India's GDP, democratic total public expenditure, revenue and overall fiscal service. This is also true. We have to select only 1 which is not true. Okay, so 1 and 3 are definitely true, and the comprehensive set of indicators are grouped into 7 broad categories. That is not true because it is in the 5 categories. So D here is the correct answer because they have asked not true. Okay, so D is the correct answer to this question. I really miss the feeling of not writing on the screen, so I understand that I'll resolve it before our next live class. All right, so practice the live class and we will do the understandings in this particular sessions. Okay, all right, thank you everyone. I'll go ahead and end this class here and I'll resolve this issue before the next class. All right, thank you.